Math 1, Unit 4, Equations and Inequalities Unit Overview. The big ideas for this unit include solving and writing equations and inequalities. You will be solving one variable, multi-step equations and inequalities, and explaining each step of your solving process. You'll learn how to solve literal equations, how to clearly define variables from word problems, and then how to use those variables to write equations and inequalities. Key mathematical tools that we will use in this unit include properties of equality, properties of inequality, opposite operations, and number lines. In the first 3 lessons of this unit, you will practice writing and solving equations. The first lesson takes a close look at the order in which you apply opposite operations to solve equations. To help you identify which opposite operation to perform while solving, in this lesson, you will connect each step of the solving process to a context. This will help you understand why each step is necessary and makes sense both algebraically and in the context of the problem. Lesson 2 highlights the importance of defining variables. In this lesson, you will describe what a series of variables represents and use those variables to symbolize various problem situations. In Lesson 3, you will make connections between solving one variable equations and solving literal equations. Literal equations have multiple variables. The goal in solving a literal equation is to use opposite operations to isolate one of those variables. Solving for a in the Pythagorean theorem so that the equation is set equal to a leg length instead of the hypotenuse is an example of solving a literal equation. In the following 3 lessons, you will work with inequalities. In Lesson 4, you're given a series of statements to consider. In considering these statements, you will reason mathematically about the properties of inequality. In Lesson 5, you'll write and solve inequalities when given word problems. In this Solidify Understanding lesson, you will apply what you've learned in previous lessons about defining variables and using opposite operations to solve. This lesson will help you make connections between the words that you use to describe reasonable solutions to a problem and the symbols that you use when representing the solutions to an algebraically solved inequality. In Lesson 6, you will critique the reasoning of 2 students who are working together to solve a series of inequality-related problems. In this lesson, you will apply your understanding of inequalities to help settle disputes, solve inequalities, and explain your reasoning. Here is a list of vocabulary terms for this unit. Some of these vocabulary terms should already be familiar to you from previous courses. Here are some key skills needed to be successful with the content in this unit. You should understand opposite operations, be able to solve multiple-step equations, and be able to solve 2-step inequalities. In addition to your teacher and school-based resources, there are several additional resources available. The Ready, Set, Go homework help videos are housed in the Canvas site for your class. You can access these in Canvas using your student login. If you do not know how to log into Canvas, ask your teacher for help. The K-12 Math Resources website, which can be found on your school's website, includes additional support items such as unit and lesson overviews, videos overviewing the task, essential vocabulary, the North Carolina standards for each unit, learning targets for each lesson, and extra practice problems.